strong, theocratic families that work hard, sharing divine teaching right in their own local territory. One of such families is the Zimmerman family, and we'd like to talk with them for a few moments. First, we'll introduce Brother Charles and his wife, Sister Helen Zimmerman. They are with the Burnsville, Minnesota congregation, moved here from New York in 1970 to serve where the need was greater. Zimmermans have 5 children and 6 grandchildren who are all doing very well in the truth. Brother Zimmerman, tell us please, how long have you and Sister Zimmerman been in the truth?
Well, my wife Helen has been serving Jehovah for 38 years, and I've been serving Jehovah for 36 years. And all our family, our children and grandchildren included, would be 213 years as a family.
Well, that's a lot of years of faithful kingdom service. Since your children and grandchildren are all serving Jehovah, could you please explain just what you did to help them serve God, Brother Zimmerman?
Well, we always try to teach them the things that Jehovah taught us to do. That's to be regular attenders at the meetings, all the meetings, and also to be regular in field service. We always had a regular Bible study and to read God's Word daily. We also taught them to get involved in all the theocratic activities, that of being at conventions and working at them, also working around the kingdom halls, and also helping others and greeting older ones in the congregation. And also we brought them to the Bethel homes and the factory to visit to see where everything, all the public activity is done.
Thank you. What stands out to your mind, Sister Zimmerman?
Well, Brother Mentor, from infancy, we tried to make the truth the center of their lives because it was the focal point of our lives. We talked about Jehovah's kingdom and Jehovah on every occasion so that he would be a real person to them. I used to tell them before they would leave the house that I couldn't see everything they did when they weren't at home, but Jehovah could see them no matter where they were. And I had them convinced that if they did do something that they shouldn't be doing, I would find out sooner or later. They really thought I had eyes in the back of my head. I also strongly reminded them to never bring reproach upon Jehovah's name or upon our family name. But really, I think the most important part of our teaching was to pass on to them our love of Jehovah.
We are happy that you did that. We wish more parents would pass on these basic, important Bible teachings. Could you share with us some of the precious moments of joy you had, Brother Zimmerman, as you were teaching your children and grandchildren over the years?
Yes, well, my main joy was to watch each and every one of them grow to love Jehovah, and especially to make the truth their own. That was so important to me. And especially, I was very happy to see that they all shared in some feature of the Pioneer Ministry, which is certainly a joy for me.
How about you, Sister Zimmerman?
Well, an especially precious memory that I have relates to our teaching our children that they should never turn down an assignment, that they should do the best they can no matter how difficult, and also that they should support one another. When one of our sons was about 8 years old, he was to give his first talk in the theocratic ministry school, and he was so nervous that he cried profusely throughout the entire talk. It was very emotional. But while still crying, he said thank you and sat down. Many years later, his son was to give his first talk in the school, and he too started crying. But his father got up from the audience, got up on the platform, stood behind his son, put his hands on his shoulders, and his son was able to finish his reading without crying. And since then, his son has given talks and he's progressing very well. He just needed that help from his father at the start.
He's gotten over that crying, huh?
Yes.
Well, we can see why that's so precious to you. Tell us, now that your children are all grown up, what kind of joys are you now finding in Jehovah's service, Brother Zimmerman?
Well, we still find a lot of joy in helping our children and grandchildren making advancement in the ministry. Also, we feel blessed that 3 of our sons are elders. My youngest son is a ministerial servant. My 2 grandchildren are ministerial servants. So we certainly appreciate all that in the service to Jehovah.
Sister Zimmerman, how about you?
Well, Brother Mentor, I enjoy being a spiritual parent to the different ones in the congregation and to the newer ones. And I receive a great deal of joy from those I study with, especially when I see them progressing. As a matter of fact, my Bible student just recently became an unpublished an unbaptized publisher, and she's looking forward to becoming baptized. But I too receive a great deal of joy seeing our children and our grandchildren progress to Jehovah's praise, because he was always there to help us teach them.
Well, very good. I think we would all enjoy meeting some of your children and grandchildren now. Let's invite them up. We have Brother James Zimmerman and his wife Diane. James is with the Apple Valley congregation, serving as an elder there. Jeffrey Zimmerman and his wife Deborah. Jeffrey's also an elder in the Apple Valley congregation. Then we have Jody Zimmerman, and then Brother Bill Zimmerman and his wife Lisa. And Bill's a ministerial servant, and Lisa's a regular pioneer in the Hastings congregation. We forgot about young Diane and young James Zimmerman also. And not with us today are Zimmerman's son Barry, who's the presiding overseer in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and his family. We certainly have a fine-looking family. We have to ask a few questions of you now. Brother Jeffrey, we'd like to ask you first, what do you appreciate most as you reflect on your parents' efforts to teach you children the truth?
Well, Brother Minter, I too appreciate the example that our parents set working hard to teach us the truth. Our dad in particular was concerned with holding a regular family Bible study. And even though at times after a hard day at work he would come home tired and even occasionally doze off during our family study, still he was determined to hold a family study, and for that we're very appreciative.
Jody, what stands out in your mind, Sister Jody Zimmerman?
Brother Minter, I appreciated that my parents made it clear that Jehovah's standards are high, and that they could never lower those standards to please us, but that we would have to come up to meet Jehovah's standards to please him. For example, we would never have even thought to ask our parents if we could go to a worldly function or anything like that. They also taught us that no matter how appealing the world might appear to us, that it really had nothing to offer us of value, and that Jehovah's organization was the place to be.
Thank you. Brother James, your parents have explained to us what they did to teach you children to serve Jehovah. How have you used similar methods to teach your children?
Well, Brother Minter, I'd like to first start off by saying I'm very proud to be a member of this family. I'm very thankful that my parents worked so hard to help us to come to love to Jehovah. Two, we feel that the best way that we've been able to help to repay our parents, to show them that we appreciate what we've done, is by teaching the truth to our children and passing it on to them. Two, as parents, we've done as our parents did to us by studying with our children from infancy, using such things as my book of Bible stories and also the Bible story tapes and other tapes, allowing our children to go to sleep at night by these. Also, we've tried to help our children appreciate, as our parents did, that the truth is not just a part of their life, but is their whole life. And also, we've always helped our children appreciate that they should never let a day go by without doing something for Jehovah, which they've always done.
Brother Zimmerman, your training and the training of your parents certainly seems to have paid off. While at the age of 16, your son became a regular pioneer, and at the age of 17, while still 17, he became a ministerial servant. So let's speak with him for a moment. Young Brother James, how do you feel about your parents' conscientious efforts to instill in you a love for Jehovah and his standards?
Well, I really appreciate being able to be taught by Jehovah through such a faithful family of parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts, because their fine example makes it easier for me to serve Jehovah, and also it gives me a greater incentive to set meaningful spiritual goals for myself. So I'm really proud to belong to such a spiritual family.
Well, we're happy for all of you that you have such a spiritual and theocratic family. Thank you for being taught by Jehovah. It's one thing, friends, to enjoy hearing such experiences, either from missionaries or our own local brothers and sisters, but isn't it quite another